headphones, maybe.
Should we do a song and dance?
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. All right, we're back. We see there seems to have been building, and we haven't quite figured it out, but we hope to have that figured out by the next time you all are here. Sorry about that. Thank you for hanging in with us. So Mike was just telling us how he was going to get these potatoes started, and all those white things you're told not to eat, potatoes and starch that drive up blood sugar. Everything's healthy. Nothing is
Off limits.
off limits. Thank you. I was looking for that. You complete me, Michael. So potatoes are fine, but let's do them let's not have it overwhelm the dish. Let's have just a little bit there. And this starch is really good in the morning because you need carbohydrates to fuel your body to get up and go and run efficiently. Okay.
And you can soak these a little bit too and get some of the starch out of them. If you soak them in water, keep them from turning brown while you're doing some of your prep.
Cold water, right?
Cold water. A lot of the starch comes out of them as well, but you're still going to have a good starch content in potatoes. And so we're going to use these sliced little. And it's just, remember, it's just part of one big dish. So a few potatoes in here. This is going to take about 5 to 7 minutes to get these potatoes tender. We started in a warm pan with just a little olive oil. And this has some other veggies in it too. I'm going to let Jenny take over on her salsa that we're going to do for the egg in the hole. Yeah. And we'll follow back with this.
Yeah, now if you were with us last time, you know we made salmon with avocado salsa. So what I would say is if you really like that recipe, I love that recipe. I confiscated all the leftovers that I could. You could make an extra batch of that avocado salsa. This isn't far different from that. Whichever one you like or whatever ingredients you have, just make a double batch and then you've got it for the week. Okay, so I got started with the salsa. What I'm going to do is take this nice pepper. I'm going to cut off the top and just the very bottom. And I'm going to use this to put in the salsa. And then the rest of it, I'm going to cut into those rings so we can put the eggs in there. So I'll take this out and this. Use that. And I said 4 rings, didn't I, per? Yep. So I'm just going to eyeball it.
So I made this the other day, and if you get your rings too big, they don't get real tender in the rings. And if you make them too small, they cook and kind of fall apart. So I'd say got a good 1/2 inch, maybe. That's about a 1/2 inch.
Yep.
On the rings is a perfect size for those. And then we're going to use all the end piece scraps for the salsa.
Yeah.
It's going to look really good.
At home, I put a lid on it to try to cook it a little bit.
I actually turned mine.
Okay.
Once you get it going in the pan, if you're going more of a lower heat and you have your little bit of olive oil in there and it's not sticking, you can kind of switch it around a little bit and flip them over. And I flipped mine over and it was still over easy when all the egg whites and stuff were cooked. So it was really good with the salsa on it.
You know what I remind us of? No, what, Jenny? What do you remind us of?
What do you remind us of?
Jacques and Julia.
Oh my gosh.
You say potato, I say potato. And stuff is flying in here. Okay, so I've got this. You can cut this any way you want, but I like to cut the pepper kind of small. That's how I like it. What else do we have? We've got avocado, which I've already cut in half, pitted, and sliced both ways. So all I have to do now is scoop it out with a spoon.
And this recipe has a little red onion in it. It's got some lime juice and cilantro. It's really delicious. There's good acid in there. The texture of it's really nice with the avocado and the peppers. Nice and crunchy.
Got the
we have a little red onion. We're going to finish it with a little lime juice. And then I got a red and, we have fresh tomatoes too that go in there. Almost like a pico. So it's going to be really nice. And I got a red and a green pepper So you can make this for Christmas morning, actually.
Oh,
And this is actually, when I made this, I put it in a little casserole dish and kept it warm until I put it out, and then put the salsa on it when I put it out with some fresh cilantro. It looked really nice.
oh, did you serve it to your family?
I did, yeah.
And what did they think?
They liked it. We liked the veggie portion of it, but I served it on, we had this whole grain toast, and we served it on the toast. It was really nice.
My family would like cheese on top.
Cheese would be really good. I think a good Monterey Jack or a light shredded or a light cheddar would be really good on there too.
And of course, going light on the cheese. You know, it's all about staying healthy this season. So I'll put that in there.
We have a question about avocados. How can one tell if an avocado is ripe? And then, should you buy the ripe avocados at the store, or should, you know, the day that you're going to cook them, or should you treat them like bananas and let them ripen?
So a lot of stores now are actually putting stickers on the ripe ones or making a special section for ripe avocados. Just a little softness to them means they're ready to use. Most avocados really, I mean, if you buy them really hard, sometimes they take 3 or 4 days to get soft enough to use them. And even a salsa, or a lot of people just make guacamole out of them. So they're hard to do that with. So, you know, if at all possible, try to buy them within the day or two that you're going to use them. And I don't think you'll be disappointed, because there's so many ripe avocados now in stores that you can just pick up and get on a daily basis. I would try to buy them closer to the time you're going to use them, and you won't be too disappointed. But a lot of them have stickers on now that say ripe, and they're a little softer. But depending on what they are, I don't know if you know this, but avocados can stay on a tree up to 6 months, and they don't start ripening until you pick them. So who knows how long they sit in the grocery store before they actually get ripe. And I think that has to do with a lot of temperature and humidity in your house as well. So just play it by ear, pick out the best ones you can, and try to plan that accordingly to your recipe or the day you're going to serve it on your menu.
And we have another question about egg muffins.
Yes.
Sierra says, when she's tried to make egg muffins in the past, they always ended up with a really spongy texture and didn't taste very good. Any suggestions to make it turn out well?
So that is usually because of the egg being overcooked. If you could add a little bit of milk, even if it's like a skim milk, or a little bit of cream, or half and half, just a little bit to that recipe, it stops them from getting so spongy when you're cooking them as much. They'll still get spongy if you overbake them, believe me, but it stops that process a little bit, and they freeze a little bit better. But frozen eggs, I think, always have a different kind of texture anyway. That's why it's really great to load them up with everything else. Load them up with veggies. In this recipe, if we did the potatoes and the veggies and the eggs are really only a small portion of this, and the veggies really take over the whole recipe, and the fresh herbs and everything. So, you know, load it up with veggies. That'll help one way. And if you add a little bit of cream or a little bit of milk stabilizer, that'll help a little bit. But frozen eggs will have that kind of weird texture. But it's a great meal prep recipe to do the egg tins and the egg muffins like that, or little loaves. If you can do them in little loaves too, that works great too. So Jenny's finishing up this salsa, and we have some nice fresh tomatoes in there as well. This is a really good addition to the top of this egg dish.
Yes, brightens it up.
I have my potatoes that are nice and brown now. They're starting to brown up really nice and get tender. So this, in addition, gets the veggies that we're going to use for this dish. So in this recipe, we have some mushrooms that we're going to use, and I have some chopped up a little bit. We're using these little cremini mushrooms.
The potatoes smell good, and they're brown.
They're nice and
Got a little crisp,
tender and brown. We're going to use a little bit of red pepper, red or yellow pepper. You could add a lot of different veggies, kind of clean out the fridge. On this recipe, if you had yellow squash, that'd be great. Carrots would be great. Peppers, any of that stuff you have, veggies hanging around in there would be great. We're doing a little bit of zucchini in this recipe.
Yeah, it's really not, there's no need for a recipe, right? Just a couple of steps of what you do with your veggies.
Yeah, so on this recipe, we put, you know, a quantity about how much you could use, but whatever veggies you had left over, Throw them in here. If you had roasted carrots or parsnips or artichokes or olives, any of that stuff would work great in this dish. And then we're going to take our chopped veggies and we're going to add those to our saute pan. And we're going to let these cook down just a little bit. We're going to sweat them. They're not going to get really brown. And we'll let these continue to cook just a few more minutes. This is really colorful. The potatoes are starting to get nice and soft. We'll cover this up and let it steam a little bit more with the moisture coming out of the veggies. And Jenny is finishing up her salsa here. It looks fantastic with the
hot, right?
With the fresh lime juice, and we're going to add just a little bit of cilantro to that as well.
Yep, I already added that.
Okay.
Got some lime. And then we're going to put some oil in this pan.
Just a little bit of oil.
Feels hot.
It's warm.
And you could use spray too. I think at home I might use my spray oil. And then we'll put a couple of these guys in here to show you. There we go. Now at home I might turn it down and actually steam the peppers a little bit. To Mike's point, they weren't all the way done when you cooked the eggs for your family. So you could turn it down, steam it a little bit. So let's pretend we've done that. And then we're going to add our eggs. Now, one of the reasons I say add a whole egg and an egg white is that you boost up your protein and you don't get all that cholesterol. But you're going to have to go with what size your pepper rings are. Like that whole egg, that's enough for that pepper ring. So if you have enough room, go ahead and just do the egg white as well. But these guys aren't going for it. See if I can get it in this one. It is really pretty. So colorful. This one I can get it in. And then at home, I cook my eggs. Technically, I think they're called basted. So I put the lid on and I let them cook over medium or just below medium until the whites are cooked and I have a runny egg. But you can cook this any way you want. If you don't like runny eggs, then cook them longer.
You could even break yolk and do a little scramble in there if you wanted to.
You could do a scramble. Yeah. You could flip it and have a soft boiled or a medium or a hard boiled. Whatever you want to do, just do it to your preference. The idea is get your veggies, make them taste good, and get your lean protein. And we've got a little bit of, did you use olive oil today?
We did, yes. Yeah. Extra virgin, actually.
Yeah, so an extra virgin unsaturated fat that's good for heart health as long as we don't overeat it. Boy, that looks delicious.
Yeah, this is really colorful. We have our zucchini peppers. We're going to finish now with just some of the chopped fresh herbs. And here's where we're going to pick up a lot of that flavor that's really going to flavor this dish. So we have some fresh rosemary. We have some fresh thyme. And we're just using a little colorful parsley as well. So we're going to add that in here. And then we're going to add a little spinach at the end when we put the eggs in.
I don't know how to do it.
Here we go.
Thank you. I need a tutorial.
So now the veggies are a little sweated. They're not really soft or brown. They're just a little sweated. They're like partially cooked. For this one, we're going to add a little hole in the middle. And we're going to put our eggs in here. So in this dish, we're going to use, you can do up to 4 eggs. We're going to do 2 eggs to start out and see what that looks like.
That looks great. So
and then
easy.
Once again, boosting the protein with a little bit more egg whites.
You're going to be, I mean, if you're like I am, there are going to be things that you don't typically eat. Baked goods, things that are made with whole eggs. So you really have a potential to boost your cholesterol this time of year. So this is a way to get around that and still get your protein.
We have a great comment from Janet about resistant starch and how cooking and cooling potatoes turns some of this starch into resistant starch, which helps to prevent spikes in blood sugar. So I thought that was pretty
great.
Yeah.
Thanks for that, Janet.
We also had a question if we can chop or prep any of this the night before.
Of course, these recipes are meant for you to do your shopping on the day you do your shopping, bring it home, prep it all. You can keep all of these veggies sauteed, cool them down, put them in the fridge, and then take them out as you need it. Heat it back up in the pan, and then put your eggs in. I would make a double batch of all the veggies.
So you can cut all the veggies the day before.
Yeah.
Actually, and the potatoes, if you can cut the potatoes the day before and just soak them in water, so they don't turn brown, or even steam them a little bit to get the process started so that it wouldn't turn brown. Finishing this dish, we put our eggs in the middle. We put our egg whites in the middle. Now we have this soft scramble. And then we finished it with a little bit of fresh chopped spinach. And this could have used a lot more egg, but I'm not going to put any more in now. But this recipe calls for 4 eggs and 4 egg whites. So this would have been a great big mixture that you could then put, if you're going to do the muffin part of it, you would take all the veggie mixture and put it in the muffin tins, and then mix the eggs together and put the eggs on top of the veggies in the muffin tins and then bake it off. This one we did in the pan all together. And then we're just going to touch this to finish it with just a little pinch of salt and pepper. Not much, because we have all these beautiful herbs. I can smell the herbs near the thyme.
Smells really good. And
yeah,
it's
I can smell all the
pretty.
thyme.
What a pretty thing to make.
And the rosemary.
This is a great thing to make. You know, if you have company coming in, prep all those veggies ahead of time and have it on the weekend.
Is this scramble recipe for 2 people or?
This is for 4. Yeah. Okay. This is for 4. Serves about 4 people. And really, I only did 2 eggs and 2 egg whites in this. And if you would have done all 4 eggs and all 4 egg whites, this pan would have probably been about halfway full. And it would have made a really nice, vibrant portion for 4 people. Because of the potatoes in here too, is almost a pound of potatoes. But this serves 4 very easily. You can probably get 6 out of it.
And I would just adjust it the way you want it to be.
It depends how many veggies you use too. I mean, I think I added a little bit more veggies to that because I had a really big zucchini. And we had some really big mushrooms in here too. So I might add a little bit more to that. So all Jenny's eggs are looking perfect. They look really good. They have that slight cook on the top, which we call a basted egg.
I like a runny egg.
So
this is what I like. But if you want a little brown on there, this is what I would do. I would start with the rings, brown them on one side, flip them over, and then crack the egg in. And then you've got that caramelization on the top. Yeah. Or you could flip it right now. You could flip it and cook it. Yeah, I can flip to hard if you wanted to cook it all the way hard if you didn't like the egg. Oh, thank you. Yeah, if you didn't like the runny part of the egg, you could absolutely. And this guy is definitely runny, so I'm going to flip this one.
I like my eggs hard.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll make yours hard, and the rest of them have a little bit more cooking to do.
Or you could scramble that right when you put it in and have it more cooked, more well done.
Yeah, so this could be quicker.
Yeah.
You can do it quicker. I'm willing to wait
quick,
for my
beautiful.
It's
not even 10 minutes.
Basted egg.
Yeah, that's not even 10 minutes.
Not even 10 minutes. Okay, so I turned it off. Maybe we should turn it back on like that.
Oh, it goes down. You have to engage the gas.
Okay.
There we go.
Thank you.
Okay, so this one's done.
Awesome.
We're going to plate this one a little bit.
And I'm going to add some salt and pepper to the salsa. I like a lot of salsa.
And this would have easily made probably close to a dozen egg muffins if you were doing meal prep.
And then tell us what's the best method to get those in the freezer? Because you just don't want to pop them in.
I bake them. You really have to bake them just until they're set, and then put them in because you're going to heat them again, either microwave or stove.
Right.
So just until your eggs are set. Technically, an egg is cooked about 148 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
So just bake them just until they're set, maybe a little wiggly, and then you can freeze them because you're going to heat them up again to serve them. Most likely. So, just try not to over bake them when you're putting them in there. I would check them after about 7 to 9 minutes would probably be a really good time to start checking those, see if they're done.
I'm going to flip that one too.
Those look really good. And these are probably good over easy right now.
Yeah.
So do you want to plate a couple of those?
Sure.
Maybe with some fresh cilantro on the side.
Okay. I wish I had browned them on the one side.
Did you bring your torch?
I did not bring my torch. All right, I think we're done here.
Okay. So we have 2 up and 2 over.
Should I flip it again?
Sure. See what it looks
looks like.
No
Kind of the
difference?
same,
Yeah.
but I think this side is prettier, so we'll do that. So whatever you like, whichever way you like it, do that. And then we're going to add this beautiful salsa. Ooh, this is so exciting.
I know, it looks delicious.
It looks really nice. I think that you're going to be really happy. If you make that salsa the night before, you've got all that chopping done, and you've got your pepper rings done, you're ready to go. Okay. And then we'll put a little bit here, or maybe a lot, as much as I can get on there. That avocado is giving you some really nice fat and fiber at the same time. So both of these dishes are going to be amazing to your blood sugar. They're going to give you sustainable energy because of that protein. It's going to take a while to break down the fibers in those vegetables. So I don't think you're going to feel hungry real soon after this. But if you do, then a nice snack would be maybe around a 15-gram of carb snack that you take with you during the day. Beautiful.
Very nice.
All right. So how many of you, did we ask our poll about breakfast, Cameron?
Sure did.
What were the results?
The majority, well not majority, but 41% said that their favorite, or what they have for breakfast most days, is a meal like eggs and toast or oatmeal and nuts. 18% said coffee only.
Okay.
And 27% said others. So we'd love to hear in the chat.
Yeah. What is the other?
That's probably cereal.
And maybe, and I'd also like to know, after we've made this and you see these beautiful dishes, does this look like something that you would do at home, that you would plan, on the weekend to get some of your prep done so that you could easily throw it together? This is also dinner to me.
This would be a great dinner or a brunch.
Yeah.
I was thinking brunch.
Brunch.
This would be a great brunch item. Either one of these really would be good. These eggs present very nicely to do a nice presentation for brunch or for guests or for weekend prep. I mean, really nice.
Right. I think so too.
Try them both.
I think Cam already put up a resource for you for more breakfast ideas, why it's a good idea. Some of you who answered coffee, maybe you know this, maybe you don't, but many people find that when they drink coffee, they see a rise in their blood sugar that they wouldn't have seen if they hadn't had the coffee. And there's a little bit of a debate all the time about this, because maybe it's just the cortisol and waking up, and maybe it's just to do with that. But I think all the educators would agree with me that we've heard from enough patients and enough people telling us, wow, when I drink black coffee and do nothing else, my blood sugar goes up considerably, that sometimes this is a definite effect. So maybe you would think eating, oh, well, I don't want to eat and add on top of that. But maybe it would help. Having some protein, having some fiber, it might help that rise that you see, or at least maybe bring it down. What else, Cam?
No other questions?
How'd we do on time? We did great on time. Thank you so much for joining us again today. We've got one more demo for the year. It'll be in December. I don't know the exact date, but it'll be the second Tuesday. And we're going to celebrate a little bit. We're going to make an Italian fish stew and kind of a take on our 7 fishes. It'll be a lot better though, right?
Okay, yeah, absolutely.
And then we'll give you an idea for a nice, healthy appetizer. And everything else can be that indulgent food that you can enjoy without a care in the world. Thank you so much for joining us. And don't forget that January 9th, our first 2024 demo, we'll have our special guest, Dr. Bernadette Melnick, who is our Chief Wellness Officer at Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, or Ohio State University, excuse me. And she, if you've not heard her speak before or been around her, her enthusiasm is contagious.
It is.
And you just can't help but smile the whole time you're with her. So I hope you'll find time to join us for that. Until then, stay healthy and eat your breakfast.